All right, folks, looks like we got everybody through the buffet line, so we're going to go ahead and get things started with some presentations. As we kind of talked about from the beginning, this is our celebration of the 2025 Bluegrass Golf Tour season. There's a lot of folks that are behind the scenes that have been involved with the BGT, and that's the Bluegrass Golf Foundation's Board of Directors. We've already heard from Cole Mannion earlier today, but I also want to have these folks stand up if they're here. Jason England, Jamie Abel, Kendall Johnson, Mitchell Moore, David Stevens, Lisa Totten, and Adam Witt. Help me give them a round of applause, please. I know that many of you are comfortable coming to me and telling me anything that may come up during the course of the season and what we're trying to do to continue to grow and make things better, but a lot of those board members that we just had stand up started in this room as a parent of a player. And they've said, gosh, you know what can I do to give back to the game of golf and to the future of our game? And that's why a lot of these folks have stepped up and been involved. This is a unique year. Last year, the board of directors had our annual meeting here at the Holiday Inn, and we've got some pretty groundbreaking things. Not groundbreaking things, but we had some wonderful discussions about things we're going to be doing in 2026. Just to give everybody a little bit of a preview, we're going to be adding a division in 2026. This year, we had over 300 players in the boys 15 to 18 division. Over 300 players. So next year, you're going to see a little bit of a split opportunity there where there'll be a 15 and under division that plays from the high school yardages, and there'll also be a 19U division from those high school yardages. And I purposefully want to kind of point out the 19U side because we have a lot of players from the class of 2026 that are in this room today. The class of 2026 doesn't have to stop playing golf when we finish this tournament today. You've got the entire season next year. If you want to continue to play golf, make friends, and try to get better on the golf course, you have the entire season next year to be able to do that. So don't forget, you're always welcome on the BGT. And we also, when players get older and they're getting ready to go off to college, sometimes they think, well, hey, I may not want to play golf anymore, but those become our staff members. I've got the best staff members in the business. So they're all former players that have been out there on the golf course, either helping out with the rules and trying to address things during the course. Are we perfect? No. Nobody's perfect. But I can't thank enough those that have been involved with the BGT. Trying to think what else. There was something else I'm going to point out from last night. The board is actively engaged in trying to help find solutions to problems that players are having, whether it's high school golf, maybe it's developing some middle school opportunities. So certainly we want to try and do whatever we can as a board and as an organization to be able to work with other folks that are invested in junior golf. Because one of the cool things about golf in Kentucky, there's a lot of us that are out there running junior golf tournaments. And if you've heard me talk about it before, I've used this line, we're all in the same church, we're just in different pews. Players, I don't care where you play golf each year. I want you to play BGT. I think we do a good job, and I think we give you a lot of opportunities to play. And we got a really cool experience that you get to earn an opportunity to play in the end of the year based on your Player of the Year point standing with the Bluegrass Cup. But whether you're playing BGT or you're playing some other tours or some other options that are available, I hope you're not going to ever give up on the game of golf and stop being out there and competing and developing those friendships with your peers over the course of the season. So there'll be more stuff coming out as a result of our annual meeting last night. And just keep an eye. You'll get one of the 1,000 emails you get from me every year. That kind of explains the new things that are coming out for 2026. Our membership is already open. It's only $20 to join right now for the 2026 season. So get on board early and get that opportunity to get prepared for next year. Every year I have a little bit of a breakup here when I start talking about this, but there is someone in our midst that has been a BGT staff member for several years. And this is going to be his last year wrapping up working with the BGT, and that's David Sutherland. Stand up, David. Everybody here knows about our photo galleries that exist in our Instagram pages and social media pages, and that is the brains behind all of that. he's gotten through the entire year without doing anything 6'7". I can't believe it. But David has just a tremendous opportunity. We're going to see him on the sidelines with the Louisville Bats, hopefully, and doing a lot of promotions there. But, David is he was a junior golfer that played some BGT. He's an Eastern High School grad where my kids go to school. I saw him out there taking pictures, and a couple of years ago, I'm like, you know what? We need to do better at that. I targeted David, meeting at BW3s in Middletown, and here we are 2 years later, kind of being my right-hand man with everything that we do with social media. So, David, you've been a tremendous team member for the BGT. I know the parents and players appreciate you. I see you interacting with the players as you're taking those pictures and sharing your posts and reels and everything else out there. So don't let him get away here tomorrow, folks, without thanking David for all the work that he's done. And he's been a tremendous asset for the BGT. Thank you, David. Appreciate you. That also means we're going to have an opening for someone to come in and take David's shoes next year. So think about that, 26 and some of those players that might want to have a really good opportunity to work and run around and work some golf tournaments and take some pictures. We're also joined tonight by our award winners and our families. We're going to hear from our 2 Stuart Gregory Award winners, which is a high school coaches award. We're going to hear from 7 players of the year, and we're going to recognize our 2 Cullen Brown Award winners this evening. I want to give a special welcome to the family members. We've got Amy, we've got Gabby, we've got Granite, and we've got Janet with us from Stewart's family. And of course, we got some families with our award winners as well. Most years, or some years, we've had the opportunity for Jeff Goodnight to come and share his story about Mason Goodnight. Why are we here? Why are we doing a charity fund where every player that participates has to raise money for the Playing for Mason Foundation and the charity fund for this event? If you don't know Mason's tragic story, he was a young 10-year-old, came home from Disney World, wasn't feeling really well, and Dad said, hey, if you're still feeling bad tomorrow, we'll take you to the doctor and see what's going on. And Mason didn't wake up that night, that next morning. Meningitis took his life, and he was an active participant in every sport you can think of in South Central Kentucky. I tell that story not to bum everybody out, but I tell that story. I'm a parent too. Every minute you have with your kids is valuable. And while we've lost Mason here as a presence, we've gained a spirit that is absolutely dedicated to junior golf. A lot of players that are here, everybody that has participated in the Mason Cup, stand up for me. You're not the only one. Everybody that's participated in the Mason Cup. Last weekend, these players all had to raise $1,500 to play in the Mason Cup and be a part of a tremendous experience last weekend at Old Stone. And there's nothing that I can do with the Bluegrass Cup that'll match the Mason Cup, but what we do is to try and give a little bit of a taste of that. Some of these players might have started with Bluegrass Cup and moved up and now are participating in the Mason Cup as well. So congratulations. Thank you, guys. But there's one difference between the Mason Cup and the Bluegrass Cup. The Mason Cup, you have to be chosen to be a part of that group, and those that are chosen to have the opportunity to participate in that certainly have deserved that honor. With the Bluegrass Cup, every player has an opportunity to earn their spot in this field every year. Everybody starts with 0 Player of the Year points, and at the end of the year, the top players in each age group are going to get the opportunity to come here and be a part of the Bluegrass Cup. That is the one thing that is going to change for next year as the Bluegrass Cup continues to grow. We've always used your best 6 Player of the Year points events over the course of the season. In 2026, we're going to count your best 8 events over the 2020. Most of you have probably played in 10, 12, 15 tournaments. I think last year we had a player who played in 26. So, there are plenty of opportunities on our schedule for players to be able to play. And it's just another opportunity to count another couple of events toward those Player of the Year rankings. So just to kind of wrap things up with the Playing for Mason Foundation, no matter what the scores are in these events, the participants learn some valuable lessons. They face challenges and overcome obstacles. They develop friendships through competition. There's health benefits from outdoor physical activity. There's building character through their reactions to the frustrations of imperfect results. There's a lower risk of injury compared to some other sports that you may play, and some injuries that have maybe come up after you were playing golf and had to recover before you could come back and play in the Bluegrass Cup. And lastly, you have the opportunity to play in a safe and positive environment with other children in the BGT. So thank you for choosing the BGT and being a part of our program, and thank you for being a part of the Bluegrass Cup and helping us raise money for the Playing for Mason Foundation. With our donations this year, we have a couple of superstars that we're going to recognize, and these are the players that actually went above and beyond. They raised more than the minimum that they needed to over the course. So I'm going to ask these players just to stand up at their table. Blake Pollock, Avery Suter, Luke Totten, Olivia Sisk, Briley and Bailey Billingsley, Caleb Queen, Annalise Morris. Now we're in the 200-plus club. C.J. Campbell, Aubrey Piasek, Paxton and Caroline Fuqua, Noah Rager, and Wyatt Stanley. Let's give them a round of applause. But that's not everyone. We have one more that we're going to recognize. This young man has been working hard to come back from injury, and in the process of coming back from injury, he exceeded his minimum donation by $950. Because of that, we've got a new award that we're going to give out. It's the Spirit of Mason Award. And we're going to give him a Bluegrass Cup flag that everyone signed at registration today. So please join me and welcome the Spirit of Mason Award that we're going to give out to Keegan Shepard. All right, folks, let's move on. We're going to move into the Stuart Gregory Award next. And just to kind of introduce a little bit on the Stuart Gregory Award, this is a special award. It provides an opportunity to recognize a girls and boys high school golf coach who commits their time and energy toward building their high school teams. I'm honored to be joined again by Stuart's family as we present this award in his memory. I already mentioned earlier, we're welcoming Stuart's wife, Amy, his mother, Janet, his daughter, Gabby, and son-in-law, Granite. The Stuart Gregory Award recognizes an exemplary golf coach that teaches, inspires, encourages, challenges, and builds team as a community and family leader. The plaque for this award includes Stuart's staple bucket hat with an orange ribbon representing his fight against kidney cancer. And it features Stuart's unique signature. That signature didn't come from Stuart himself. It came from his master forger, his son, Gage, who learned how to master his dad's signature. At this time, I'd like to invite the 2024 Stuart Gregory Award winner, Adam Witt, to say a few words about the award and recognize the 2025 award winners.
Good evening. Thanks to Chris and the Bluegrass Golf Foundation for the award last year, and I'm definitely honored to be standing in front of you to introduce our winners this year. Stuart epitomized what it meant to coach, and I got to know Stuart a little bit during the end of his battle, and really enjoyed the time that I got to spend. And I've actually gotten to know Stuart's family over the years of playing in the Stuart Gregory Memorial, and to watch that community rally around that golf tournament. I tell my kids every year that, I tell them every year that we'll be back. It's just a unique event, and we probably play more in front of more spectators than any other tournament that we play in that year. And that's a credit to Stuart and the legacy that he left behind in high school golf. So I'm honored this year to introduce our two winners. The first one on the boys' side is Mr. Joe Hood. Joe's been the head golf coach at Warren Central for 13 seasons, while also coaching other players in the surrounding counties during the off-season. He served for 3 years as the co-athletic director and 1 year as an assistant athletic director at Warren Central. He's coached girls basketball for 10 years, 9 as a head coach, while also being an assistant coach in volleyball for 1 year and boys and girls tennis for 3 years. Coach Hood is an alum of Warren Central, the class of 2007, and made 4 trips to the basketball Sweet 16, including winning the state championship in 2004. Coach Hood played golf collegiately at Lindsey Wilson from 2007 to 2011. He is a cancer survivor with the continued support of his wife McCall, his daughter Millie Jo, and his daughter coming very soon, Baylor Elizabeth. Joe is a friend, and he is somebody who embodies growing the game. He works at a school that has, most years he has a hard time fielding a team, and he works at this, and it's a role that can go unseen. And as the board and the committee sat down, and we wanted to put somebody out there that really embodied everything that Stewart stood for, I'm super proud of the work that we did to go find Joe Hood and to make sure that you're seen for the work that you've done in this community for golf over the years. So with that being said, Joe Hood.
I want to thank the Bluegrass Golf Tour and Chris Riddle. First off, what an awesome event this was. I got to come out and watch some golf today. Y'all made me want to go practice right after I left. Got a lot of work to do. I created some notes and then heard the introduction, and there went about all of it. I have been a golf coach for 13 years at Warren Central High School, which is where I was an alumni. I was a basketball guy first, and then fell in love with golf, watching Tiger Woods chase a little white golf ball around. And like Chris said, and then golf prepared me for life battles. I was prepared and handled it the best way I knew how, and that was with my family. I want to thank my wife, McCall, who's been there every step of the way. I want to thank my daughter, Millie, who's not here tonight. She's a little sick. She's my reason why. And then Baylor, who will be here anytime. I'm praying it's not tonight. Give me till at least tomorrow. But when I received this award, it's funny. I show up to the region tournament and go check in, and Coach Witt says, "Hey, have you talked to Chris?" And I'm like, "Is it good or bad?" And he said it's good. And I was like, okay, I'll go see him then. But this tour reminds me of me when I first started being a junior golfer. It was called the Pepsi Tour then. This right here is awesome. I was out here today. We have Jumbotrons, or that's what I call Jumbotrons, live scoring, and a lot of talent that I see. I mean, a lot of talent. Like, a lot of y'all's names are going to be around for a while, so I might as well get used to them now. And I'm just a big fan of this tour and the opportunities that it gives a local golf coach like me. It's easy to be like, oh yeah, Chris Riddle, here you go. All right, he'll take care of you and do it the right way. I mean, and that's what you all do here on this tour. Just a little short thing about my cancer battle. On December 14th, 2017, I was the co-athletic director, basketball coach, game day, normal day at Warren Central. My principal comes to me and says, "Coach, I've had a couple students and teachers say you're not acting right, not looking right, not feeling right." And I'm like, yeah, I'm not. Working 80, 90-hour weeks and don't have any time to myself. And he said, "When's the last time you've been to the doctor?" And I couldn't tell him. And so he said, "Go right now." And I went right then. I went at 12:30. At 4:30, I started pressing the nurses because we have a 6 o'clock tip in Franklin. And so they were like, "Stay patient." And 4 hours later, they come in and tell me that I have cancer. I was told that by myself and didn't know what to do. Didn't know I'd be here today, that's for sure. And one person that really helped me in that time was my dad. He was there, not in what I got told, but he was out there in the parking lot bringing me food because I'm texting him saying, "I'm going to be late to the game. I've got to go and I'm not eating." So he's bringing me food. and I wanted to start pouring out, why me, why me, why me? I looked at him, and he has had his own health battles. Who am I to say my battle is any different than anybody else's in here? So in that moment, I grew a lot. And then from then, it was my wife and my mom who were my caregivers. Because during my time, I had chemotherapy, and when that didn't get it done, I had to go do a stem cell transplant at Vanderbilt. So we moved down there. Mom dropped everything she could do. My wife was there when she wasn't working, or girlfriend at the time. And so I'm forever indebted to them. My best friend, my brother, best golf partner out there, his wife, and my nieces. I can't thank them enough. I prayed for them, and they're here. And I'm just lucky enough to still be able to play and coach and teach and do my passions of working with junior golfers and young athletes. And when I was presented this award, I wanted to make sure that Stewart's family knew that I do not take one day for granted. I don't like to waste time, and I don't like to sugarcoat anything. And so that's just kind of how I live my life moving forward, is looking for the positive and being optimistic. And that's where I'm at in my life now, and I want to thank everybody for being here, and the Stewart Gregory family for this honor. So thank you all very much.
Our Girls Coach Award winner is Jessica Grace. Jessica just completed her 13th season coaching golf at Henderson County High School. Her high school playing career started in Wisconsin as a member of the boys team, since there was not a girls team available. After her family moved to Texas, she was able to play golf in the fall and spring seasons on her way to earning a scholarship to play at Murray State University. Many of her coaching philosophies were learned while playing for Kentucky Golf Hall of Famer Velvet Milkman, and she is the second straight Stewart Gregory Award winner that is a Murray State Golf alumni. In 2007, she was the first women's golfer inducted into the Murray State Athletic Hall of Fame in the same year as winning the Kentucky State Amateur Championship at Miller Memorial Golf Course. She currently serves as the first woman on the KGA Executive Board and the co-president of the Kentucky Golf Coaches Association. Jessica is somebody that I've gotten to know on our time at the KJCA board, and I've gotten to know her as kind of that outstanding, or kind of a calm mind in the midst of, we have a lot of fun discussions on Sunday nights. And she's done a wonderful, wonderful job leading us and kind of being a voice of reason during a time when we've had a lot of turnover on that board over the last 5 or 6 years. And I'm incredibly proud to be a part of a board that has her leading it. So, Jessica Grace.
Thank you, everybody. Good evening, and I hope you guys had a good day on the golf course today. I hope that you know that every day on a golf course is a blessing, and that you're incredibly lucky to be part of a game that gives so much back to you, and the longevity of it. I still play golf today, I still love it, and I don't think I could do that if I was trying to play basketball or something like that. So golf is a great game. I am deeply honored and humbled to be getting this award. I had the honor tonight to sit at the table with Stewart Gregory's family and hear stories about him and what an amazing man he was. I did not know him. I didn't get a chance to be around him very much, but the legacy that he left behind is one that represents strength and passion and dedication to coaching and community, and that's something that I really appreciate that he had. I'm in joy of, when I reflect on what this award stands for, teaching, inspiring, encouraging, challenging, and building team as family, I'm reminded that coaching is really just about people. Little people, mostly for me, younger people, but it's about people. It's about being there for players, not just as athletes, but as young men and women and helping them see what they are capable of, not just who they are at that moment. I have coached now for 12 seasons. I took a little bit of a break, mainly because I had some kids that I wanted to watch. And if you're coaches and your parents know that coaching is a big deal, it's a lot of time, and we all do it for the money because we make a lot of it. But during golf season, there are many times when I am with my players more than I am with my own family. And so I did take a few years in middle school when my boys were playing so that I could enjoy watching them. And then as soon as I got them through that, I tried to get back out there. And I was scheduled to start coaching again in the year 2020. And I got the news that nobody likes to get, and that is that you have cancer. I was going for a routine mammogram. I didn't know. I felt fine. Everything was great. Had no clue. And thankfully, I kept up with that pretty regularly. And I received the news, much like Coach Hood did, that by myself in a room that you have cancer. And that is a life-changing moment. And that is when you find out who you really are. And I can tell you that playing golf helped me through that battle, because when you're on the golf course and things don't go your way, you have a choice. And you're the only one that has that choice. And that choice is, how do I deal with it? Do I let my attitude and my anger get the best of me and question why me? Why is this happening to me? How could this is not fair? Well, life isn't fair, and neither is golf. We've all had those bad bounces. We've all hit that tree limb that we shouldn't have, and we all, landed in the middle of a divot in the middle of the fairway, right? Like, that's life sometimes, and it's not fair. But golf teaches you that the only thing you have control of is yourself and your reaction to it. And so I hope that you guys learn that. I always ask my girls, what's the most important shot in golf? Does anybody know? The next one. The next one. That's the only one that matters. What's the most important shot in golf? The next one. In life, what's the most important moment in life? The next one. Right? Let's not take advantage of that. Let's enjoy life. And so that's why I think that golf is one of the greatest sports that you can play. And I'm grateful because my dad got me started in that. So you guys are here because your parents support you. Make sure that you enjoy that time that you get to spend with them. Okay, the hours, many countless hours I spent on the golf course with my dad are some of the best memories that I have. And now I get to do that with my own kids and with my husband and my family. And golf is a game that just keeps on giving back to you. So hopefully you guys will take that to your heart and give back as well. I'm honored to accept this award along with Coach Hood. I'm very honored to Chris and thankful to Chris and the committee who selected me. It's a great privilege. It's nice to be honored for something that you love to do, because golf is my passion, and this is just a big honor. So thank you all for having me tonight, and good luck in your singles matches tomorrow, and just enjoy it. Remember, every shot on the golf course is a blessing. No matter if it's good or bad, you get to make it, and you always get to hit another one. So, thank you.
All right, now we get for the fun part, because last year the bar was set pretty high by some of our Player of the Year speeches. So we're going to pick right up and go into our Player of the Year presentations. Each Player of the Year is going to receive their award, and they're going to have an opportunity to address all of us that are attending the banquet this evening. But we're also going to take some time to recognize the other participants in each of those divisions. We're going to start with the boys 15 to 18 division, and players, as I call your name, I'd like you to come up here and line up here in front of the dais. Noah Rager, R.J. Farrell, Blake Pollock, Rylan Crouch, Harrison Bain, Luke Totten, and C.J. Campbell. This is the offensive line that's going to block for the boys 15 to 18 Player of the Year. The boys 15 to 18 Player of the Year started the season with 4 straight wins, including shooting a 69 at Bowling Green Country Club and winning combo regional number 6 and stayed near the top of the Player of the Year race for the full season. This is his first year competing in the Bluegrass Cup, and he's thrown right into the fire as the captain of Team 5-Ash. Believe it or not, he scored birdie or better on 16.7% of the holes that he played this year. One of the senior leaders for his high school team at Franklin Simpson High School. He's always been an extremely confident golfer. And if you don't believe me, just ask him. He finished 3rd at the Tour Championship, which secured his place as the 15 to 18 Division Player of the Year. Please join me in welcoming the 15-18 Boys Division Player of the Year, Dylan 5-Ash.
What's up, guys? I don't know what to say. I did not do nothing. But, first and foremost, I like to thank Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior. Without him, none of this is possible. I like to thank Chris and the BGT for throwing some good tournaments together. And thanks to my family. Lena Paps always showing up to every tournament. My mom being my photographer. My dad being my motivator. Well, sometimes. I hit a bad shot. Every bad shot, I was hearing good shot. Telling me I can't putt. He's worse than me. But yeah, I'm thankful for my team. We're down. We got to win tomorrow. But yeah, thank y'all.
Congratulations, Dylan. And this is as close as it's ever been after day one. It's 12.5 to 11.5. Going into tomorrow's matches, for 24.5 is the magic number. So we'll see who can get to 24.5 first tomorrow. Now we're going to move on to the girls 15 to 18 division. We're going to bring up the participants from that division and line them up in the front. Chloe Witcher, Samantha Abel, Gabriella Johnson, Avery Suter, Christine Michael, Bailey Billingsley, and McCall Moore. The girls 15 to 18 division Player of the Year never finished worse than second in a BGT event this season. She had 6 victories, including 2 combo regionals and the Tour Championship with an under par score. Her BGT stroke average was 76.08 over 12 rounds, which included a subpar 69 in the first round of the Tour Championship. She's been part of Team Kentucky in the past 2 Kentucky-Tennessee border battles. She has a 5-1 record going into this year in the Bluegrass Cup, and she captained Team Willen to a resounding 27-17 win in 2024. She finished second at the Region 3 Championship this year and went on to finish in the top 5 of the KHSA State Championship. She is a 3-time Player of the Year with the BGT, including the last 2 years as the girls 15 to 18 division Player of the Year. Please join me in recognizing this year's Player of the Year, Kinsey Willen.
Tiger Woods once said, "The greatest thing about tomorrow is I will be better than I am today." We're all here tonight because of our love for the game and our drive to improve. As competitors, there's nothing better than sharing the course with such talented players that are here tonight. Playing BGT has been so much more than just competing in golf. It's been truly an enjoyable experience. I'm truly grateful for the friendships I've made, but the memories that came with it. It truly is an honor to win the 15 to 18-year-old Player of the Year, an honor that is not to be taken lightly. Players, Chris, friends, and spectators, thank you for being a special part of this journey. These are the memories that will last a lifetime. Last but not least, I want to express a huge thank you to my parents and my brother, my grandparents, my swing coach Corey Stiff, and my high school golf coach Ryan Kraft. Until next year, may we all stay dedicated and work to reach our fullest potential. Just keep swinging, fellow golfers. The best is yet to come. Thank you.
The next group we're going to recognize are our boys 12 to 14 division participants. I'm going to ask these players to come up and stand in front. Carson Coomer, Rowdy Harris, Keegan Shepard, Max Sutton, Paxton Fuqua, Patterson Graves, Braden Ward, and Wyatt Stanley. good news is we're not going to have Max get sick before tomorrow. We don't have the 12 to 14 Division Player of the Year with us tonight. Blake Thomas he plays at Frederick Douglass High School, and they have their banquet this weekend with their team. And I understand that's tough to leave that. So I did pass along his Player of the Year award to his coach. They're going to present it to him during their banquet with their team and be able to send a picture back to us. But these players certainly represent some of the best players from the boys 12 to 14 division. So they definitely deserve to come up here and get their recognition. Good job, guys. Thank you. Moving on to the girls 14 and under division. As I call your name, come on up and stand in front. McKenna Myatt, Ellie Morgan, Aubrey Piasek, Olivia Sisk, Molly Amos, Elin Fritz, and Briley Billingsley. I'll move to there we go. The girls 14 and under division Player of the Year finished as the overall champion at the Cullen Brown Invitational and the division championship at the division champion at the Tour Championship. She finished in the top 2 of every BGT event, including 10 wins in 12 events. She had a 2-0-1 record at the 2024 Bluegrass Cup as a member of Team Childers, and a 3-0 record at the 2024 Kentucky-Tennessee Border Battle. She has success on multiple tours, while also competing with the Hurricane Junior Golf Tour, Kentucky PGA Junior Tour, and high school golf. With 2 sisters also competing in BGT events, it's one of the primary reasons why the BGT sets a maximum of $40 per family for memberships with the BGT. She earned the most points of any division with 1,062 points. Please join me for the second time of recognizing Player of the Year from the girls 14 and under division, Emily Miller.
First, I would like to thank Chris Riddle and his staff for such an amazing program that gives youth golfers a chance to experience competitive golf. I also would not be here today without my parents, who've been there with me every step of the way. Also, I would like to thank my golf coach and physical trainer, Mitchell Lamb, for helping me grow as a golfer and as a person. And a special thank you to my Nana, who comes everywhere with us, no matter where we go. And most importantly, I am grateful for the time I get to spend with her and everyone else in my family. It has taken a lot of practice and tough moments to get where I am, but I wouldn't trade it for anything. This award means so much because it proves that never giving up does pay off. As this golf season comes to an end, I'll always remember the 2025 season what has meant to me. And I am excited to head off the off season with my head held high, ready to keep improving and see what's next.
All right, the next player we're going to recognize is the BGT is the only tour that has a 9-hole division for players that are aged 13 to 18. I recognize that not every player in that age range is ready to compete in 18-hole divisions. So the 13 to 18 9-hole division provides a valuable developmental opportunity for those competitors. The 13 to 18 Girls Player of the Year has made the trip to Bowling Green to participate at tonight's banquet. This year's Division Champion Player of the Year was the champion in all 15 events she played in, including Combo Regional number 4, Combo Regional number 7, and the Tour Championship. And coming from Paducah, there's a lot of trips that were not that close to home. The division has provided a pathway to prepare players for the high school season, and it led to several personal best scores with their high school team this season as well. Making the trip all the way from Paducah to receive this award, please join me in welcoming Anna Wood.
I'd like to thank the Bluegrass Golf Tour for this award. It has been an amazing year of competition and making new friends. I could not be here without my family, friends, and their encouragement. Golf is such a mental game as a physical one is. And to be honored as Player of the Year is truly amazing. And must give a big shout out to my dad and Nick throughout the season. Thank you to Chris for challenging me to play against the course and score better each week, and encouraging me to even when things didn't go the way I hoped they would. Thank you to everyone who believed in me in this journey.
Every year, I'm quite amazed by how these folks can stand up in front of 150 people they don't know and be able to give some such meaningful words as they share. Sometimes we get some of our best stories as we get to these 9-hole divisions. We're going to recognize the players in the boys 11 and 12 9-hole division. These players will come up to the front of the stage. Reddick Johnson, Caleb Queen, Mason Brown, Mason Day, Luke Blanford, Simon Hughes, and Jet Hagan. For our boys 11 and 12 division player of the year, he was called out last year to stand up by a friend during the boys 11 to 12-year-old player of the year speech. Perhaps that motivated him to meet that goal this season. With 12 total victories, including 2 combo regionals and the adult child derby scramble, and he was runner-up at the Cullen Brown Invitational and the Tour Championship. He finished top 3 in all 16 events he played in during the regular season. He had a 2-1 record in the 2024 Bluegrass Cup as a member of Team Willard. He's a 2-time participant for Team Kentucky in the Kentucky-Tennessee border battle. He had a low round of 35 in the second round of the Cullen Brown Invitational this season. And the Player of the Year race came down to the Tour Championship with multiple players competing for the top spot. But your 2025 Boys 11 and 12 9-hole division Player of the Year, Landon Keller.
Oh my gosh, there are a lot of you. I put a lot of time into this speech, so I just want a little bit of reaction. So I don't want a blank crowd. But first, I want to thank BGT, Chris, and all his staff for making big events like these possible. Time he puts and effort is very valuable, and I appreciate it very much. I've been playing BGT for 3 years. I've been striving to get Player of the Year, and this is my final year. First year was 11-12. That's my last year in 11-12. First person I want to thank is Chris. He puts so much time and effort into these events. I've known Chris for about 3 years, and he makes big events like these possible and fun. Whether it's rain or shine, he always gets us on the course. It's normally rain, but sometimes shine. I also want to thank my friends. They always make golf an enjoyable sport to play, and they always pick me up when I'm down, and I hope that they know that I would do the same for them. Next, I want to thank my family. I want to thank my grandparents. They always come to like every tournament they possibly can. I also want to thank my parents. They drive me out here. I wouldn't be here if they wouldn't drive me out here. Also, they pay for tournaments. I wouldn't be here either. But I want to give a special thanks to my dad. He's been caddying for me ever since I started. And every time I have a bad attitude, I'm sorry. He's a very experienced golfer. He would teach me how to hit a certain shot. And he would always be my number one pick, be my caddy. So my first year playing BGT, I played well through the entire season, then I lost in the BGT championship. I lost Peyton Courtney, and I got second place. Second season was 11-12. I played really well, except the BGT championship, and I lost to Max. Third season, I played well, and it all led up to the BGT championship. So I also want to give a shout out to Reddick. He's been my competitor through the entire year. Like, we've been neck and neck in points the entire time. Going into the BGT championship, he had 776 Player of the Year points, and I had 770. So I'd beat him. Reddick's a great golfer, always fun to play with, and a nice friend. So going into the BGT championship, I was 2 over through 3 holes, 3 over through 5 holes, and 4 over through 8 holes. I had no birdies, and Reddick had a 2-stroke lead the first day. I had an awful attitude, and I thought I was out of the tournament. 9th hole, I hit my driver under a tree, and I hit it off the green. Some miracle, I chipped in for eagle, and I somehow managed to beat Reddick and got Player of the Year. I'm sorry. It was a miracle, but what I learned from that is that you're never out of the tournament until the tournament's actually over. I thought I was out of the tournament, and I somehow miraculously got second place and got my Player of the Year points. But I also learned that you can use failed trials as motivation, and you can use small goals to make big steps. I also want to go over respect. At the end of the day, on the last hole, what keeps friendships together, whether you play good or bad, you shake hands and show respect. It doesn't matter what you shoot, just show sportsmanship. It's such a simple thing, but it's so important. You want the person you play with to say, he was fun to play with. I hope I play with him again. Finally, I want to thank Chris again for making this big tournament possible. I want to thank everyone who drove out here, whether come to Banquet or watch a child play golf, or the spectators, and it's an honor to receive this award.
All right, the next division we're going to recognize are our girls 12 and under 9-hole division participants. Come on up, ladies. Allie Jean Stevens, Caroline Fuqua, and Annalise Morris. This next division had the closest Player of the Year race, decided by just 16.33 points. The Player of the Year had 10 total victories, including 3 combo regionals and a runner-up finish at the Tour Championship. She became the 3rd player in her family to earn a champion trophy at the Cullen Brown Invitational, joining her sisters, Emily and Paisley. She had a low score of 37 at Boots Randolph Golf Course, and she closed out the Tour Championship with 8 consecutive pars to hold on and finish in a tie for second place, earning just enough points for Player of the Year. Please join me in welcoming the girls 12 and under division Player of the Year, Kylie Miller.
Hi, my name is Kylie Miller. First, I would like to thank all the people who have helped me get here. My dad, my mom, my coach, Mitchell, my Mimi, and last but definitely not least, my Nino. Nino, it means the world to me when I can look over during the mid-round and see your big smile. And your turkey and cheese mid-round sandwiches are the best fuel for a golfer could ask for. I also want to thank Chris and the entire BGT golf staff. You all put so much time and effort into these tournaments. Thank you for giving us great courses, fair competitions, and fun memories. I've practiced a lot, but I couldn't have done it without the support and guidance of my parents and coaches. What I love most about golf, besides pure straight drives, is the friendships I've made. Golf has given me teammates who became friends and competitors who pushed me to be better while cheering me on at the same time. That's the beautiful part about this game. Winning Player of the Year was such a big goal for me this season. I'm so excited and grateful to have reached it. Thank you to everyone who believed in me, fed me sandwiches, reminded me to keep my head up, and told me to smile through the rough holes. I'm proud of this moment, and I'm even more excited for what comes next.
All right, and last but not least, we're going to recognize the boys 10 and under division. Bringing up the participants in that division, Miller Dunn, Knox Potter, Hayden Hoover. The boys 10 and under division Player of the Year finished as the champion or runner-up in every event with 4 wins in 8 events. He had a low score of 39 at Calvert City Country Club and in the first round of the Tour Championship. Included in his 4 victories was Combo Regional number 4 and the Cullen Brown Invitational. He's a multi-sport athlete that may also be able to join his team for some of their soccer matches across the airport from where we're at the golf course this weekend. He finished just 24 points ahead of the runner-up for the Player of the Year after being pushed by his now partner, Miller Dunn, at the Tour Championship. Please join me in welcoming the boys 10 and under division Player of the Year, Oliver Moore.
I want to start by thanking my parents for supporting me this season. I also want to thank Chris for running this tour and letting me play these fun courses. I have quite a few more friends because of BGT. It has been great to compete and develop my game. I have gotten so much better this year, and I have this tour to thank. I appreciate you all for coming. Have a great night.
You know, every year I'm not exactly sure if the 10 and under division will have the guts to be able to stand up here and talk in front of everybody, but wow, you guys have really blew me away by being able to do that, so thank you for that. You know, each year the Bluegrass Golf Tour players have the opportunity to earn a spot in the Flogus Champion of Champions World Junior Golf Championship in Northern Ireland. We've had players that have made the trip to Ireland in the past. Gabriella Johnson out there made the trip this year and participated. And while he's not here, Patterson Graves also went. There's some other players that have made the trip in the past as well. So a nice way to make the trip across the pond and play against players from, 35 different countries, and probably half the people you play didn't even speak English. A total of 24 BGT players will receive an invitation to compete in this event on Monday of this week, or coming up within the next week or so. So I've already sent the email addresses for those participants, but I'm going to recognize the BGT participants to have them just stand up as I read their name as they're eligible to participate in the 2026 Flogus Champion of Champions World Junior Golf Championship in Ireland. Dylan Fibash, Kinsey Willen, Emily Miller, Landon Keller, Kylie Miller, Oliver Moore, Noah Rager, Chloe Witcher, McKenna Myatt, Reddick Johnson, Miller Dunn, Mason Brown, Harrison Bain, and Caleb Queen. So folks, if you do decide to take the opportunity and make the trip across the pond to play in Ireland, make sure you let me know, because I know we will get connections with those that have already made the trip in the past for some things to do and to not do, where to tag your luggage, and how far in advance to handle all the flight delays you might have as you're going across the pond there. So good luck if you decide to go and represent the BGT and be a part of that championship. Every year, and we continue this year in 2026, we have a partnership with the Hurricane Junior Golf Tour. Just a reminder, we continue to have the dual membership options that are available for players in 2026. I'll remind you that the regular price for a membership with the Hurricane Tour is $299, not $20 or $40 like the BGT. But because of our partnership, players can join both the Hurricane Tour and the BGT for $199 as a regular price. Until October 31st, you can join for $10 less than that for $189. With that membership, you get $85 off their non-member registration prices for all of the Hurricane Tour events. You can earn BGT Player of the Year points by participating in those events as well. And you can have over $2,000 in discounts available through discount codes that are available there with that partnership. I know we see a lot of players over the course of the year. It gives me a little bit of a break weekend. I'm just a rules official during those events, so not quite as long of a day as the BGT events. And while it's not for all players, players that are consistently shooting 80 or better might consider benefiting from participation with both tours. So this is always the part of the presentation where I try and get through without breaking up, because now we're going to give out the Cullen Brown Award winners. I just think about Cullen every time I give this award out. You know, Cullen was a friend, fantastic junior golfer. He was a state champion. He was a staff member with me when I ran the Kentucky PGA Junior Tour. And I remember sending him text messages back and forth when he was at the University of Kentucky. And after he had his cancer diagnosis, he found out he had osteosarcoma. Less than a year later, he lost his battle with cancer. But we keep Cullen's memory alive every year with the Cullen Brown Invitational in Western Kentucky and our Premier Sportsmanship Award at the end of the year, the Cullen Brown Award. This is the premier award to a BGT boys and girls member, as it recognizes sportsmanship through competition with the BGT. These winners do not know in advance that they are receiving this award. While the players of the year knew they were going to have the opportunity to speak to everyone, these two winners don't have any idea in advance or anything to prepare to speak. I wanted to pass on my regrets from from Cullen's mother, Emily Brown. She usually likes to be here and be a part of this. She was unable to join us tonight because she's traveling and watching Cullen's sister, Catherine, compete with the University of Kentucky. I'm extremely grateful to the Brown family for allowing the BGT to continue Cullen's legacy by hosting the Cullen Brown Invitational each year since 2020 and naming the BGT Sponsorship Award in Cullen's name. You may have seen that the University of Kentucky also added a new event to their schedule, hosting the Cullen Brown Collegiate at Lexington Country Club starting last year. Through support from Cullen's Memorial Fund, players in Western Kentucky may enjoy the walk by playing golf. The Cullen Brown Award recognizes sportsmanship, integrity, playing ability, friendship, and love of the game through participation on the Bluegrass Golf Tour. At this time, I'm going to recognize our 2025 award winners. The boys winner has competed in BGT events since the first year of the BGT in 2019, displaying consistent improvement over those years. 2025 was his most active year with the BGT since his days competing in the 9-hole divisions, and he was able to accumulate 4 wins this season. He is a first-time participant in the Bluegrass Cup, and he advanced as an individual to the final round of the KHSAA State Championship in Bowling Green this year. He's participated in multiple 2A state championships, and while he may be competing for his high school team and a coach that he respects tremendously, he also spends much of his time playing with other golfers on rival teams at his home course. I've noticed this young man's sportsmanship and positive attitude on the course over the years, and I'm excited to see what he will do as he continues his golf career at Kentucky Wesleyan College. I'm honored to recognize the development and positive attitude that exhibited by the 2025 Cullen Brown Award winner, R.J. Farrell.
Wow, this is amazing. Like Chris said, I didn't know I was winning this at all, but yeah, I mean, this has been amazing being able to compete on this tour as a junior golfer for a long time and progressively improving each and every year. Made a lot of friends throughout it and lots of buddies that I'm sure will be playing golf many years from now together. And just what an honor again. I want to thank my family for supporting me throughout every single tournament, traveling me to every single one. And I'm excited for the next steps of continuing my athletic and academic career at Kentucky Wesleyan. Thank you.
You know, and every year with these awards, including with the girls' award this year, it's a very, very difficult decision, as there are many players in this room that could win these awards. This year's girls' winner also started competing with the BGT in 2019. And she's competed in multiple Cullen Brown Invitationals with a top 3 finish in her division this year. Instead of reading through her accomplishments, I think repeating a story she wrote herself a few years ago may best tell her story. There were less than 7 days between my first lesson, first time picking up golf clubs, and my first tournament. The BGT happened to be in my hometown, and my parents signed me up. That event helped me pave the way for my interest in golf. As a new golfer, I was so nervous going into the competition. I knew I wasn't ready for tournament golf, but quickly realized that this was an event that could help me understand if I liked the game of golf or not. I was thankful for that my age group allowed my dad to walk beside me, even though he wasn't a golfer either. The 9-hole competition went faster than I had expected, and I was encouraged to keep working and to always compete against the golf course. I've now played the BGT for a few years, and a few years since you wrote this. I've been able to compete in local events, 2-day events, and invitational events. Each time I continue to learn about golf and so much about myself. Tournaments have taught me about responsibility, integrity, determination, and work ethic. They have also introduced me to some of my closest friends. We are now planning trips across the state to play together. I'm thankful for that first tournament golf experience that helped me on the path to loving golf. I would encourage any junior golfer to find a tournament close to home and to remember to compete against the course. This player was the first alternate to compete in the 2025 Bluegrass Cup, losing a tiebreaker for the 8th and final spot, only to see the 8 players receiving an initial invitation accept their spot in the field. I'm not sure if a day goes by when I don't ask and receive an answer from this young lady to how many days is it until Christmas. It is obvious that through her experience, friendships, respect from her peers, and dedication to improving every year is proof that a positive attitude, focus, and determination is a fitting narrative for the 2025 Cullen Brown Award winner, Kinsey England.
Thank you to everybody. I didn't know I was getting this award, but thank you to especially Chris and the Bluegrass Golf Tour because it really shaped me into the person I am today. Thank you to my dad especially for telling me to pick up that golf club. He knew nothing about golf, but he's always been my biggest supporter and he's always taught me life lessons. Golf has taught me life lessons, but especially my dad, he's always encouraged me to be positive and stay just respectful to everybody. And being positive gets you far in life, especially on the golf course. Just always have fun. It's truly an honor to receive this award. Thank you.
Now that we've had the opportunity to recognize award winners and our players of the year, it's time to determine the pairings for tomorrow's singles matches. And we're going to lead our captains as we alternate back and forth with a captain naming a player in each match. And then the other captain's going to match a player from their team. I'm going to get my materials out here so I can make sure I write all these down as the names come in. Because Team Willen has a 12.5 to 11.5 advantage heading into the singles matches for tomorrow, they're going to be able to start with the players named in the matches, and we're going to start with the 9-25 pairing. Kinsey, who would you like to send out for your team among the boys 11 and 12 division? Chet Hagan. Come on up, Jet. Come on up. We're gonna bring these players up here, and then from the boys 10 and under division, who are you gonna put in that one? Knox Potter. All right, Dylan. In the boys 11 and 12 division, who are you gonna match up against Jet Hagan? Mason Day. Okay. And in the boys 10 and under division? Oliver Moore. All right, folks, so tomorrow morning at 9:25, we'll have Jet Hagan versus Mason Day and Knox Potter versus Oliver Moore. Now, one quick thing there on Oliver Moore, just a quick check here, and I might have to Oliver's got a soccer match tomorrow from 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock. Did you want to put him in the 9:25 or the 9:45 pairing? 25? Is that going to give enough time, Dad, to get back? Oh, good. Okay. Yeah, we're thumbs up. Okay, you're good. All right, guys, you all can go ahead and take your seat back down. We'll beat you on the number 10 tee box at 9:20 or so tomorrow. All right, Dylan, now you're going to name the first player in the 9:35 pairing. 9:35 in the boys 11 and 12 division. Who do you want to send out? Reddick Johnson. And in the girls 12 and under division, Dylan, who would you like to send out in the girls 12 and under division in that 9:35 time? Caroline Fuqua. All right, Kinsey, matching up against Reddick in the 11 and 12 division. Who are you going to send out? Simon Hughes. There we go, Simon. And in the girls 12 and under division? Annalise Morris. So at 9:35 tomorrow, we'll have Reddick Johnson against Simon Hughes and Caroline Fuqua against Annalise Morris. All right, Kinsey. At 9:45, 11 and 12 boys division. Who are you going to send out? Caleb Queen. And in the boys 10 and under division, Hayden Hoover. Dylan, who are you going to send out in the boys 11 and 12 division against Caleb? Mason Brown. Is that a repeat? Repeat. And then in the boys 10 and under division, Miller Dunn. (9:45), we're going to have Caleb Queen against Mason Brown and Hayden Hoover against Miller Dunn. All right, and these are not picks because these are the remaining players. Kinsey, who you got left in the 11 and 12 boys? Yeah, 9:55. Landon Keller. And in the girls 12U? Kylie Miller. And then Dylan, who do you have left there for the boys 11 and 12? Luke Blanford. And in the girls 12U? Allie Jean Stevens. All right, 9:55, Landon Keller versus Luke Blanford, and Kylie Miller versus Allie Jean Stevens. Now we're moving to the 8 o'clock pairing. 8 o'clock in the boys 12 to 14 division. Dylan, who you want to send out in the first group in the boys 12 to 14 division? Paxton Fuqua. And what about in girls 14U division? Emily Miller. Oh, I got the Millers close together. I'm sure Mom, Dad, Grandma, and Grandmas will help that. Get to go back to back. Kinsey in the, oh no, sorry, we're not back to back. We're back to back on, well, they'll eventually be back to back when they get to the back nine. That's right, 8 o'clock and 9:55. But at least they'll follow each other when they get around to the back nine. Kinsey in the 12 to 14 division, who are you going to send out at 8 o'clock? Max Sutton. Who's in charge of waking up Max at 8 o'clock in the morning? And in the girls 14U division? Elin Fritz. All right, so 8 o'clock match will be Paxton Fuqua against Max Sutton and Emily Miller against Elin Fritz. Good luck. All right, back to Kinsey in the boys 12 to 14 division at 8:10. Wyatt Stanley. And in the girls 14U division? Briley Billingsley. All right, Dylan, who are you going to send out in the 12 to 14s? Patterson Graves. He's not here this evening. And in the girls 14U? Olivia Sisk. All right, so at 8:10 tomorrow, Wyatt Stanley versus Patterson Graves and Briley Billingsley against Olivia Sisk. 8:20, 12 to 14 division. Dylan, who you got? Braden Ward. And in the girls 14U division? I'm sorry? Molly Amos. Kinsey, who you going to send out in the 12 to 14s against Braden Ward? Keegan Shepard. And in the girls 14U? Aubrey Piazik. So at 8:20 tomorrow morning, we got Braden Ward against Keegan Shepard and Molly Amos against Aubrey Piazik. Kinsey, who you got left in the 12 to 14 division, boys? Carson Coomer. And who you got left in the 14U girls? Ellie Morgan. And Dylan, who you got left in the 12 to 14s? Rowdy Harris. And who you got left in the 14Us? McKenna Myatt. All right, the 8:30 pairing off number 1 will be Carson Coomer against Rowdy Harris and Ellie Morgan versus McKenna Myatt. Moving on to the 15-18 boys and girls divisions. At 8:40 in the 15-18 boys division, Kinsey. RJ Farrell. And of the girls' 15-18 division, Samantha Abel. Dylan in the 8:40 tee time from the boys 15-18. Who are you going to send out against RJ? Luke Totten. And in the girls' 15-18 division, Chloe Witcher. So at 8:40, we've got RJ Farrell against Luke Totten and Samantha Abel against Chloe Witcher. All right, boys 15-18 division. Dylan, 8:50. Noah Rager. And girls 15-18 division, Bailey Billingsley. All right, Kinsey, 8:50, boys 15-18. Rylan Crouch. And girls 15-18, McCall Moore. So your 8:50 pairing will be Noah Rager against Rylan Crouch and Bailey Billingsley against McCall Moore. Two more pairings, one more decision maker. We're going to start with the boys 15-18 division. In the boys 15-18 division, Kinsey, who do you want to put out second to last? CJ Campbell. And Dylan in the girls 15-18 division. Who do you want to send out second to last at 9 o'clock? Christine Michael. It's all right, everybody messes up Christine's name. We talked about that on the starting tee. It doesn't have an E on it, but in Europe, that I-N is an een, not an N. And then against CJ Campbell, Dylan, who are you going to send out against CJ? Blake Pollock. And Kinsey, who are you going to send out against Christine? Avery Suter. So your 9 o'clock pairing will be CJ Campbell against Blake Pollock and Christine Michael against Avery Suter. It is Central Time. Yes, it is local time. And last but not least, Kinsey, who you got left in the 15-18 division? Harrison Bain. Dylan, who you got left in the girls 15-18 division? Gabriella Johnson. And I know who's left. We're going to bring up the captains against Harrison Bain, Dylan Fivash. And against Gabriella Johnson, Kenzie Willen. So 9-10 will be Harrison Bain against Dylan Fiveash and Kenzie Willen against Gabriella Johnson, the captains in the final match. And it could all come down to that final match on the golf course at the end of the day. So should be some excitement there. So folks, once again, quick recap of the matches for tomorrow. You all are good. At 8 o'clock, Fuqua against Sutton, Emily Miller against Fritz. 8:10, Stanley against Graves, Briley Billingsley against Sisk. 8:20, Ward against Shepard, Amos against Piasek. 8:30, Coomer against Harris, Morgan against Myatt. 8:40, Farrell against Totten, Abel against Witcher. 8:50, Rager against Crouch, Bailey Billingsley against Moore, McCall. On 9 o'clock, Campbell against Pollock, Michael against Suter. 9:10, Bain against Fiveash, and Willen against Gabriella Johnson. At 9:25, off hole number 10, Hagan versus Day, Potter versus Moore. 9:35, Reddick Johnson versus Hughes, Caroline Fuqua versus Morris. 9:45, Queen versus Brown, Hoover versus Dunn. And the final match off hole number 10, Keller versus Blanford, and Kylie Miller against Stevens. So folks, I thank you all for your patience and sitting through the banquet this evening. Get some rest or spend the entire night hanging out at the bar. And I look forward to seeing everybody on the golf course tomorrow morning. Good luck.